It's the Woodgrafter, it's the beginning of August, which means it's time for the monthly update coming up. Welcome to the Woodgrafter. I'm Andy Gile, and if you're new here, our mission in life is to inspire, educate and support you in your journey to becoming a better woodworker. We publish 2 videos every week on a Tuesday and a Friday, combination of tools, techniques, reviews, how to use tool type videos, all the things we'd like to understand as woodworkers. Step-by-step how-to guides, how to build something, breaking it right down to the basic techniques we use, educating ourselves along the way, and then informal feedback sessions such as this one, where we have a general chat, take your questions, and just bit of a free-for-all really. So if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing now. If you like what we're doing, give me a thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so you never miss anything. Get in touch, leave your comments, questions, observations, opinions. Thriving community here at the Woodgrafter. With that said, let's get into this month's update. In last month's video, we spoke about changing the purpose of the channel, going to inspire, educate and support you in your journey to becoming a better woodworker. We're still going along with the Tuesday and Friday videos, but they're a combination of videos now. So the Inspire videos, we do that through ideas, tips, reviews. The Educate video, we're doing through step-by-step project builds, and the support through Q&A in the website and the community. In last month's update, I asked for your help in building out the community, and I've had a really good response to that, so thank you so much. I've not forgotten about that. I'm in the process of just updating the website, getting it ready, and I've been playing around with different bits of software that allows me to start to build up an interactive community, but also allows me to start to publish more structured courses. Now that's taken me a bit of time, longer than I anticipated, but I'm now finally at the point where I think I know what I want to do and how that's going to work. So I'll be opening up the beta program in the very near future and inviting those who've got in touch with me to come along and help me out on that. Always space for more. If you do want to get involved and help me to develop the overall channel, then please drop me a note, info@thewoodgrafter.com, and just say hello. And we'll take it from there. But yeah, looking very exciting times. We're still on target for our goals. You're looking for 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Our YouTube year ends in the end of October, so we're now in August, so a few more months to go. We're looking for 1 million minutes of watch time on our videos with an overall 98% likes. Now, we're about to hit each and every one of those milestones, and I'll probably be there ahead of schedule. And if you've been with me from the very start, we started off with a very low expectation, 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we blew all those out of the water some time ago. So these are actually updated objectives that we're still likely to hit ahead of time. So the response to the channel and what we're doing here in the Woodgrafter has been absolutely phenomenal, and I continue to get positive feedback, and I'm still seeing healthy growth. We'll look at that shortly. I still want to launch the online community in the website, and I still want to launch a structured website for education. And as I say, I think I've cracked what I want to do and how that's going to work. So look out for the announcements soon, and if you have contacted me, I'll reach out to you shortly and we'll get that going to see what it looks like and what you think. So my business model still remains the same. It's based around the single branding of the Woodgrafter, but there's 2 sides to the business. The commissions business, where I take in builds from customers, and I've got a new commission starting soon, and my idea goes that I'll take you step by step through how I approach and build the commission, and that will give us the content for the educational side. So let's look at my August planner. It's actually the evening of the 1st of August I'm making this video, but this will come out tomorrow on the Friday on the 2nd of August. This weekend I've got some big changes in the workshop. I'm upgrading the electrics to allow for the planer jointer to actually be installed. So I've got the sparkies coming in, and this side of the workshop I just need to disassemble to bring a new power feed in, because it's a 16 amp device that we've actually bought, therefore I need upgrade electrics. If you've been with me for a while, one of the very early videos I did was around the layout of the workshop, and I'll be refreshing that video soon because the layout has changed a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. And if you remember, on my right hand side here, there's a storage area where I put all my raw products. And I also use that area for when I've got a finished product waiting to be shipped out. It stores in there before I take it off to the customer site. There was always the intention to have the hand tool workbench inside that space, and that's because I want to use the hand tool bench for laying out the component parts of the raw stock before I bring it in here to start the process of turning it into something of quality and beauty. So the hand tool bench has moved from here and it's gone back into there. That means I've managed to clear the space behind the camera for the planer jointer. Now I took delivery of the planer jointer, today's Thursday, delivery of the planer jointer Monday of this week, and it's been sat there in a great big box, a great big wooden container waiting for me to open it. Do you know how hard it is to have something like that in your workshop and not even open it because you're busy painting planters and finishing off a series of videos? My God, that's hard. But we're nearly there, and we'll be doing a whole series on the planer jointer. We'll be doing an unboxing to see what we bought and what we've got in the kit. We'll be doing a setup and assembly and a tuning and calibration of that device, and then we'll walk through how you actually use a planer jointer, what's it for, what's the purpose, why is it so important in my workflow, and why does that lift the quality of the material to actually taking rough stock and producing those fine furniture pieces that our commissions are all about. So that's exciting, and it's in the workshop now, and it's all cleared out and it's ready to go. So that's what's going on Saturday, the upgrade of the overall electrics in the workshop. Now, assuming that happens, on the Sunday I can now unbox and set up and get commissioned the planer jointer, and that gives me a couple of videos. I'll share the unboxing video with you on the Tuesday and the setup calibration commissioning video on the Friday. The following Tuesday I want to get into using the planer jointer. You know, what is it, what's the purpose of it, why do we need it, that sort of thing, and then how to use it safely inside your workflow. And that means I'm then in a position where I can start to take on my first fine furniture commission, which is the coffee table design. I want to walk through why I'm designing it the way I am. Design is not something I always focus on. I know I walk through the design, I'll go to the computer and I'll walk you through the SketchUp, but I want to take a slightly different approach to the design video and explain why I'm making the design considerations I am. Now, this is a prime example because I got a very loosely, roughly drawn diagram from the customer, and I will share the diagram with you. And I took some loose measurements inside the home and took some photographs of some pieces that the customer had knocking about, just to give me some design inspiration of what they actually like in their home. And I've managed to turn that through some strange feat of magic into a design that the customer's now happy with, and we've signed the design off and I'm going to go ahead. I want to walk you through that process. How do you go from a concept to a design? I don't want to teach you how to use SketchUp, which is the program I'm going to be using for this one. And I'm also going to be using a piece of software called Final Cut Plus to give me the cut dimensions and the price estimate. I'm not going to teach you how to use those pieces of software per se. They're just tools that enable me to get through that design and costing process. And it's that process I want to work with you on. So that should be quite interesting, and we'll see how that gets received by the community, because we've not done that before, but it's a critical part of what we do as woodworkers. Now, it is actually quite a complicated design once we get into it. Lots of lamination, lots of joinery going on inside there. So I'm not sure how many episodes we're going to go to, but I fully anticipate that to take me through to August. Next weekend I want to do the beta release of the course, the community and the course website. So I'll be pinging you on the 11th. So if you have contacted me and said, hey, I'd like to help you, I'd like to get involved, I'd like to be a beta tester or a pilot member of the community, then I'll be reaching out to you a week on Sunday, the 11th, with some log-on details and how to get involved. And I'm going to use the series that we've just done, the planter container series. I'm going to use that as the principle. It's going to be re-edited. I'm going to cut it down. It's a different shape than you'll see on YouTube, much more of a structured course, I hope. And I'm going to set that up as a course and then ask you to work through that course and give me your feedback on it. So if you've not signed up yet for my beta program, still time, get in touch, info@thewoodgrafter.com, and then we'll see where we end up. I want to run that beta course throughout August, and we'll probably come together around about the 31st. May do that as a Skype meeting. That might be quite interesting to bring us all together on some sort of dial-in call where we can discuss what's gone on there. So I might do that as a Skype meeting if I can get the technology working, and we'll just discuss what we feel, what we found, how we can improve. And it'd be good to get some conversations going and say hello anyway. So watch out for that event. I'll see if I can pull it off. But let's look how we're doing on YouTube, because it's quite a good story. Now watch time's important because this is where you start to hit the advertising revenue. Less so subscribers, but the number of minutes watched. Now my target for the year is 1 million, and in July, end of July, we hit 885,000 minutes. So we're well on target for the 1 million. And you can see that continues to grow in terms of a profile. And subscribers, we're now at 4,322 subscribers, and my annual target was 5,000. So we're going to do well here. Now the reason I track those metrics is really what I started. It's the only things I could find about whether people related to the channel or not. Am I getting more subscribers? Are people watching my videos? YouTube's algorithm changes all the time, and it's now much more about retained watch minutes. I produce a video's 10 minutes long. If somebody watches a full 10 minutes of that video, happy days. If somebody watches a full 10 minutes of that video and gives me a thumbs up and comments on it, YouTube assume that's a really great video and they publicize it more. If I put that same 10-minute video out there and people disengage after 6 minutes and they don't leave a comment or a like, YouTube algorithm assumes that's a bad video and therefore doesn't publicize it. So you're very much on the whim of the YouTube algorithm. Now what gets really strange on that, even if you come along and watch the video and say, hey, I've got what I wanted, now I'm going to rush into my workshop, I'll pause the video, I'll rush into the workshop, I'll try that first step, I'll do the step, I'll come back and watch the next of the video. YouTube sees that as a disengagement of the video, therefore it's a bad video, therefore they don't publicize it, therefore you don't get a bigger audience. I'm bringing those videos down as we experimented to 15 minutes or so, has improved things. Now I'm still at that point where the average duration of views on my videos is just under 9 minutes, so it's way over 50%, and that's pretty good, but just under 9 minutes. Lots of comments, lots of likes, a few dislikes, but they all count as engagement anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But it's 9 minutes, so YouTube doesn't promote those videos as much as we would want them to. And I'm designing the video so you can pause them, take the knowledge, try the knowledge, come back and carry on. And probably come back 2 or 3 or 4 times into a video. So YouTube looks at unique views, duration watched in a single sitting, and engagement. When you think about what I'm doing as a channel, you can see why that's a bit limiting. So although the channel's growing well, this is bringing new members in. I want to do something different where I'm not penalised by YouTube, hence moving things over to the website, which is looking really quite exciting, I think. We've had a number of questions in. I've just taken a few of these. So if you do get questions, what I want to do in this session moving forward is to pick out a handful of questions and answer them. So as you start to bring questions in, I've now found a way of filtering comments on YouTube to pull out the questions. So put a question in, and if you can start by saying, I have a question, that helps my filter to pick up the question. So, hi Andy, great videos, going really, really well. I have a question, blah, 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 blah. I can then quickly pull out that question, bring it together, and then as well as answering in the comments as I always do, we can then talk about it on the video if that's the right thing to do. So a few questions for this month. Why didn't you put a base in the planter? And both Larry and Chewy were interested in that. Now what they're talking about is the series that we've just finished where I was making the Versailles style container. And you've noticed I didn't put a base inside that. Now what I didn't explain in the design concept, learning point for myself, is what I was going to use that container for. I just started building a container. What I'm using is a bag that fits inside the container. It rests on the floor, stands just under the overall height of the container, and I can put trees in there and ivies and plants. The reason I'm using that is as the seasons change, I can lift that out of the container, put that away into the greenhouse for winter, and then I might drop another bag in that may have a conifer and some ivy inside there, so it gives me some winter interest in the container. And it means I've not got to move those containers round. So that's why I didn't put the base in, I just didn't talk to people about that on the video. So learning points around the form and function aspects of design. You can put a base in that, it's really easy to do. Just take some more tongue and groove, cut it to size, rest it in the bottom. If you're going to put soil directly into the container, put a membrane around the inside. Stuff like a butane liner that you use on fish ponds is ideal for this because it just stops the moisture in the soil penetrating the wood over time and gives you more longevity inside your planter. So a few boards at the bottom to hold the weight, staple the liner inside, fill it full of soil, and then you've got where you need to be. But yeah, that's why I didn't do it, because I'm using these lift out bags and they need to rest on the floor, not the base of the container. How do I send you pictures? Asks Lawrence. This is because at the end of the container series, I'm really interested to see whether people build these things. Do you just sit there and watch it, or are you actually building it? And quite a few people are actually building these. They're a great weekend projects, and it's going to be great to see these rolled out there. And I'm just really interested to see what it is you're doing. What are you creating? And Lauren's come back and said, I've built the first one, I'm on to the second one. How do I send you a photograph? If you go to the website, www.thewoodgrafter.com, and you go to the top of the page and follow the link for community page, there's a form at the very, very top of the page. Coincidentally, links to the videos and all the plans are all underneath of the form, free to download, but the form at the top, I've added a file share aspect to that form. So fill in your details, your name, your email address, so I can get in touch and thank you and talk to you. Comments, hey Andy, I've built this, I'm really proud, here's my picture. And then there's a button at the bottom that says attachment. Click on the button and then you can download multiple files and then submit. Then those files get stored on my website. I get sent a link and then I can access those. And if I get enough pictures for the project, I'll start to create a bit of a gallery and we can start to look at the stuff that people have built, which I think will be quite a nice feature. So that, Lawrence, is how you send me pictures. If that's too complicated, info@thewoodgrafter.com will also find me by good old-fashioned email. Now, Tom had an interesting question. Does it matter which way the rectangular nuts face? And what he's talking about are these rectangular nuts here, or these oval nuts, that are typically used on the Incra fence system. And if you look at these in profile, on the back they are flat, and on the front they are slightly raised. So which way round do they actually need to go is the question. Now, if you're not familiar with these and you've not watched the series, typically these slide into T-slots, and then you have a metric bolt that goes through, captures inside there, and it holds things into place. As an example, this piece here is held onto this in these T-slots, and down inside there that you may be able to see are some of these nuts, these oval nuts or rectangular nuts. Now, to be honest, it's not something until Tom asked that I've ever really thought about, and I certainly didn't discuss it on the Incra series. Now, what I tend to do is I use these with the raised portion facing up, facing the opening of the T-channel, so I'd slot it in that way. And my rationale is that that there engages between the narrower part of the T and gives you a firmer position. It becomes self-centering. If I do it the other way, that can obviously slide backwards and forwards inside there, and there's a chance that whatever you're fitting inside the groove can become out of alignment. So that's what I do, and that's the reasons why. Whether that's right or wrong, I have no idea. It just seemed to be common sense to me. So that's what I do there. So I hope that answers the question, Tom. Let me know if we need some more details. Few people, Bear, Pa, Nick, Brian E, have all asked me about the Capex extensions. Now, what they're talking about are these extension pieces here that slot onto my Capex. I have one that fits onto the left hand side and one that fits onto the right hand side. And people ask me where they come from because they don't see them in the marketplace. Now, I think that these came from Axminster and they came as part of a kit. I made a video about that here. It came with the Capex itself, it came with the Capex MFT and the two arms. They're known as a Festool AB-KS and they came as part of the kit that I bought. I'm not sure if you can buy them separately, but if you do a Google search Festool AB-KS, I'm sure you will find out, but that's where they came from. Now, I've got a follow-on question from Kenny H. Now, Kenny went ahead and he invested in this. Good move, Kenny. I hope you're having fun with that. And he got the two arms. What Kenny was saying is both his arms came in the right-hand configuration. So when you build them up, they'll both fit here, but they don't fit on the left-hand side. And he was saying, was it a fault? Did he get the wrong parts? No, mine came in exactly the same way, that there were two right-handed parts. And what you've got to do is change the handing of one of these areas. So myself and Kenny have had a few back and through conversations via email on this. And what I've said to Kenny is I'll quickly show you on a video how you go ahead and make that change. So here is one of the extensions. First thing we're going to do is I'm just going to strip all the component parts off it, get those out of the way. So you end up with just the assembly itself. Now here on the telescopic piece there's a screw on the end assembly. Undo that screw and that allows this bracket to slide off. And if you look inside here you can see I've got one of those oval captive nuts. So take that screw out of that hole and put it into the other hole. and refit that oval nut. And just make sure you keep it in that orientation. Then undo this piece and slide it off. Undo this nut here, this washer here, and take that off. And again, you've got a captive screw inside here. Take that out. And now your telescopic arm can slide through and it pops out of the other end. Take the channel all the way out, reverse it, so you've got this little captive nut here, and slide that back in. And now you've got to screw this back in into the captive nut, and again that's quite tricky to do. Sort of look down the hole till you can see it. Don't forget your washer, and screw that back into place. Then take the middle part of the telescopic arm, slide that back on. And now you can simply slide your end cap back on. Now what I do at this point is to drop the tape measure back in, and then that just allows me to line this up into the right position and tighten that down, and that's it. You've now changed the hand of this piece, and this will now fit onto the other end of the assembly. So there you go. I hope that explains how you go ahead and do that. Great question, and thank you for the interaction. And that's pretty much it for this month. So it's been a great month. The next big news in the workshop is the planer jointer, as I said, and this is what I have bought. I've gone for the AT260 SPT, the one with the spiral cutter. Look out for the unboxing of that next Tuesday, and then we get into the setup. We'll talk about the features and why I bought that. As always, any questions, comments, please get in touch. If you're not a subscriber, don't forget to subscribe, give me a like. And if you are interested in joining my beta program, drop me an email, info@thewoodgrafter.com. See you soon.